Hi, this is the PowerMac G4 Quicksilver. On January 9th, 2001, a new line with a revamped motherboard but the familiar graphite case debuted. It was essentially a future Quicksilver inside an older case. Motorola had added a seventh pipeline stage in the new PowerPC G4 design to achieve faster clock frequencies. New features included a fourth PCI slot, a 133 MHz system bus, an improved 4x8 GP slot, and a new digital audio sound system, giving the series its name, PowerMac Digital Audio. The models were offered in 466 MHz, 533 MHz, Dual 533 MHz, 667 MHz and 733 MHz configurations, the latter two using the newer PowerPC 7450 processor. The number of RAM slots were reduced to 3, accommodating up to 1.5 GB of PC 133 SD RAM. These computers had the graphite color, but the motherboard had a similar bus architecture as the Quicksilver. The 733 MHz model was the first personal computer to include a built-in DVD-R or Apple-branded SuperDrive. The rest of the line became the first Macs to ship with CDRW drives. This was also the first series of Macs to include an NVIDIA graphics card, the venerable GeForce 2MX. At Macworld Expo New York on July 18, 2001, a new line debuted featuring a cosmetically redesigned case known as Quicksilver, but only minor technical changes. It was available in 733 MHz, 867 MHz and dual 800 MHz configurations. The 733 MHz model was notable for not having a level 3 cache. The design was updated on January 28, 2002 with 800 MHz, 933 MHz and dual 1 GHz configurations, becoming the first Mac to reach 1 GHz again. The low-end 800 MHz model did not include any level 3 cache. The graphics in this series were provided by an NVIDIA GeForce 4MX card. Some of these models have AEA controllers with 48-bit LBA4 hard drives larger than 128 GB. This later series is commonly known as Quicksilver 2002. This was the fourth computer to bear the name PowerMac G4, but the first to be housed in an obviously different case. With processor speeds ranging from 733 to 867 MHz, the G4 had the power to outperform any Pentium 4 machine made at the time. The top of the line was a dual 800 MHz machine that first shipped in August. There is conflicting information about big drive support. Apple doesn't list it as one of the Macs that supports large volumes, over 128 GB, on the internal hard drive bus, but several people have reported successfully using 160 GB and larger hard drives on that bus. At this point, we believe that the 2001 Quicksilver is not afflicted with big drive issues. That said, disk utility may show big drives as having 128 GB capacity, even though the Finder is aware of their true capacity. This computer has the best looks in my opinion, and was the last Apple computer to incorporate a possible ZIP drive. Most clock speeds were available in both single and dual configurations. This was the first Mac to reach 1.0 GHz. No wonder they call it the Quicksilver. The 733 MHz model, with 128 MB of RAM, a 40 GB hard drive, and a CDRW drive, was $1,699 US. The 867 MHz configuration, with 128 megabytes of RAM, a 60 gigabyte hard drive, and a DVD-R drive, was $2,499 US, and the high-end dual 800 MHz model, with 256 megabytes of RAM, and 80 gigabyte hard drive, and a DVD-R drive, was $3,499 US. As already stated, the PowerMac G4 Quicksilver 2002 was the first Mac to break the gigahertz barrier. Apart from the addition of a DDR SDRAM L3 cache on the middle and high-end models and several new graphics cards, the Quicksilver 2002 series was essentially a speed bump of the previous Quicksilver series. The Quicksilver 2002 PowerMac G4 was available in 3 retail configurations. The 800 MHz model, with 256 megabytes of RAM, a 40 gigabyte hard drive, and a CDRW drive, was $1,599 US. The 933 MHz configuration, with 256 megabytes of RAM, a 60 gigabyte hard drive, and a DVD-R drive, was $2,299 US, and the high-end dual 1.0 GHz model, with 512 megabytes of RAM, and 80 gigabyte hard drive, and a DVD-R drive, was $2,999 US. This PowerMac G4 Quicksilver is the 733 MHz with an extra PCI graphics card and allows me to enjoy the dual displays. As you can see, you can also set up a different wallpaper on each screen, and you can configure any way you want the screens to work. For example, left to right, etc., just like the modern computers. I also installed macOS 10.5 Leopard, but it does not run as well as on macOS 10.4 Tiger. Hope you enjoyed this brief demonstration. Have a nice day.